opening up the call with a chance for people to share. I know it's been a couple of weeks since we've seen each other on Zoom, because I know last weekend I canceled, and it's because I started feeling this like sick. Jana's like frozen. If you guys have it on gallery view, she just popped off. She was frozen. She was frozen like this. This is the funniest thing ever. She was like smiling with like her eyes like half closed. But I did want to take an opportunity to have, open up the floor and see if people want to share like something good that happened to you, or, what's going on in your life or your business, or, something that you're struggling with. Happy birthday, Sabrina. It's Serena's birthday today, and she's actually on the call. 39 or 40? She's running. All right, well, she'll come back. But anyway, so I wanted to give everyone a chance, or if anyone wanted to share or has a question that we need to go over really quick, then, wanted to start with that. Nobody's gonna speak up. Man, if I ever had the opportunity to like speak on a call, like I'd be like the one. I know Steph would too. Would be like, me, I'll talk, I'll share about myself. All right.
Sorry guys, I'm at work, so that's why I had myself muted. I am 39 today.
Yay!
Thank you. Hold on, I will come back. I will share.
Okay. All right. Well, Jana, your computer froze at the funniest. You had like the funniest.
Yeah.
I wish I could have taken a screenshot of your face, because I was like, oh my God, she froze, and she's like.
That's lovely. Yeah, they're burying my cable line outside. I think my internet just shut off on my computer, so I'm on my phone.
Oh. Okay. All right. Well, I was just doing a quick, if anybody wants like to share something good that's happening, or something they're struggling with, or like whatever in their business and their life. I was just doing that before we got started with like the call.
Okay. For me, I've been reconnecting periodically throughout the months now with people that I used to know from, old colleagues or old classmates. And so I just got a new customer. She was a girl that was about my age in automotive industry a long time ago. And she just reconnected with me and joined my group. So that was really cool. And so, I know it just continues to further cement that, the consistency and sharing your story and just sharing, the healthy lifestyle. It's always going to resonate with people, and it might take time, but that it does just keep working. So that was really nice. And I hope to talk to her today so we can get her started. And starting my new job this week. So I'm trying to set myself up so that I'm going back into my industry, into the automotive industry after almost a year off. So I'm going to be working these next couple weeks to try to really figure out how to streamline my Beachbody business so that I can go into work and still do both, because I definitely want to do both, and I see a lot of value in continuing to grow. So I'm just going to work a little harder on kind of streamlining my processes and my actions that I'm doing so that I can maintain both.
I thought you weren't starting until 5/20.
Yeah, May 20th. So I have this weekend next week, and then the week I'm in Florida. So
Right.
2 more basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yes. Well, thank you for sharing. That's cool. Can you explain, could you share a little bit of how you've been, connecting with this girl, just to kind of give people an idea of like what you've done that led to like you inviting her? Did she respond to a post? Like, how did that start, and how did it lead to like her being a customer?
Yeah, I haven't really talked, well, I guess I would know it was a post that, and funny enough, I have 2 Facebook pages still, because when I started the business, I kind of wanted to be able to reach more people, but not really invite people into all of my personal stuff on my Facebook page. So I started a new Facebook page and called it my Jenna Osgood Everyday Choices. And so I post on there once a day, every day. I basically take my Instagram stuff and put it there. So because I don't really want to like overload people, but I want them to see every day what I'm doing. But this one in particular, I just decided, I had a post, and it was kind of a fun one, and it had some personal stuff on it from my Mexico vacation, and it was in my everyday choices, and I decided to tag my personal page. So I didn't realize she wasn't my friend on my everyday choices, so I did tag myself, and she messaged me, and so I don't even think she had been following what I really had been doing, but it was that post that she was curious about and interested in, and she just messaged me that she had been going to Orange Theory for like 3 years. She feel like she's reached a plateau and she wants to try something new. So she reached out to me just from seeing my post that has, you know, my workouts, my juice that I drink, my like kind of just the lifestyle that I'm posting about. And so I always kind of say, you know, in my posts, you know, we can work together, like let me know. So I always kind of like invite people, but that was just enough for her to message me and be, you know, curious about it. And so then we just messaged, and I asked her, you know, what was her day like, and that's how she told me she was doing Orange Theory and was looking for something different. And we just instant messaged back and forth a few times, and now I'm going to talk to her today. But she did buy a challenge pack and is ready to go.
So you had never even reached out to her and said like, "Hey, how's it going? It's been a while, whatever." Like you had
No,
never.
not in that scenario. No,
Okay.
I hadn't.
So this is like a really cool example of how you guys like consistency can just lead to you having conversations with people that lead to you know, them becoming a customer or coach. But I will say that if you don't have new eyes on your posts all the time, if you're not getting new, like that happened because you tagged your, you know, your page and she wasn't on your other page. So she wasn't seeing your stuff on your other page. And then probably that tag actually probably got a lot of engagement or whatever, or it maybe popped up in her feed really quick. So like if you're on Instagram or you're on Facebook and you're like, I'm posting, like I'm sharing, and I'm not like, this is not happening for me. Like if you're posting to the same 200 people like every day and you're not ever getting any new followers or ever any new eyes on your post, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, or whatever it is, you're not gonna, like, you can't just keep posting to the same 200 people and expect that that's gonna grow your business. You've got to come up with a strategy that's going to help you connect with new people, so you're going to get new eyes on your posts.
Yeah.
So
you know what, which of course I learned this from you, and from the you know, YouTube videos and stuff about how to grow your Instagram. And although I haven't really been that successful in getting like people that I don't know yet, I'm still kind of, you know, people that I used to know are still kind of available to me coming out of the woodwork a little bit more, which is still great. But I have noticed now the benefits of, you know, changing up my hashtags, but also, you know, following some of the hashtags. Because like just this morning, for example, I was kind of doing my Instagram stuff where, you know, like the 531, like liking stuff and commenting and trying to gain the followers that way. And because I had an Instagram hashtag saved to pop up in my feed, there was this woman who was like tagged something like fitness support or whatever. And I looked at her page. It didn't look like she was selling anything like us. It didn't look like she was a coach or anything. She was working out. She was showing her biceps. She's like showing her underneath, like, you know, under her arm, like, how do I tone this or whatever. And so there are people out there who still are actually on Instagram, like kind of just looking for support or just the community, which can also, I think there's potential there for a lot of potential for people like that. And so like she's somebody now that I'm gonna follow. I know she'll follow me back, and that I can engage with, because she looks like the right type of person who's, you know, who is working out and who needs, you know, probably is looking for guidance, and she's definitely looking for a community, you know, from her posts.
and this is why, like, you can't just expect that you can just, Instagram actually won't even make your page be deemed very valuable if you just go on your Instagram, create your post it, do your hashtags, and get off Instagram. If that's all you're doing, it's never going to grow your Instagram. Trust me. You need to be engaging with other people's pages. So you need to be following new people. You need to be liking their stuff. You need to be commenting on their stuff in an authentic way, not like a bot. Oh, love this picture. I mean, make it something like actually look at their page. Are they someone you can see being your friend? Are they someone you see as your avatar? And how many of those people can you connect with every week? Because I know like Beachbody's numbers, a lot of these coaches like are hitting really big high numbers, and you can do that if that's what you have the time for and the energy for. But it doesn't take huge numbers for you to meet people, for you to hit Success Club every month, for you to enroll 3 to 5 new people every month. It doesn't take ridiculous numbers for that to happen. You could literally connect with, I would guess, 2 to 3 people every day. Like if they're targeted, if they're like, you know, people that are really your true avatar, people that you can help that aren't already a coach, that aren't already in like some other fitness and health MLM. And those can even turn into coaches too, because I had a girl that was doing the wraps for a while, and she ended up becoming a coach of mine, and she ended up, it's unfortunately she isn't with, I mean, she's still a coach, but she's not working her business anymore. She got burned out, but you know, she switched over and she was a diamond coach. She was working with us, and she went on to, she wants to train competitors, like fitness competitors. That's like her new thing now. And so she's moved on to something else, but she was a big, you know, member of our team for a while. So, you know, and I know Katie Schultz, who's like a top coach on Ashley Fell Dyson's team, who I like follow on Instagram. She was a rep, because I scrolled back to like her very first post to see, I think I showed you guys like several weeks ago, like a month ago, and she was a rep for like some skincare or something or some other line. And then she ended up becoming a customer under Ashley, and she was a customer for 8 months before, like a discount coach for 8 months before she actually started working the business. And now she's like number 2 in the company, you know, in 1 year she did that. And now I'm not saying it, she didn't just talk to 2 to 3 people every day. She didn't just 531 2 to 3. She probably 531 hundreds of people, you know, every day for her to get to that level in 1 year. So I'm not saying that 2 to 3 people is going to get you to that level, but it could take you to a point where you can have a solid team built without having to do crazy huge numbers. It depends on what type of person you are. If you're better at doing crazy huge numbers, by all means go for it. But just remember that energy that you're putting out there is going to take away and distract from the energy that you can actually invest. I'm going to mute everyone. And you only have so much energy to be able to work your business every day. I had a cool story. So it was kind of this is a story of how like you can go from having someone become a cold market to becoming, you know, a friend and a team member. So I had a girl, we were just chatting on, you know, I chat with people. I do PM, private messaging, and it's not a, hey girl, do you want to join my challenge group? Hey girl, do you want to be a coach on my team? It's like, I check out people's pages. I send them, especially people that watch my stories, people that like my posts, people that comment on my posts. Those people are getting messages from me way more often than people that, you know, random people. But so I would go through my followers. I'd go through my like stories, people that were watching my stories. I think she was someone who was watching my stories. I don't remember, because I don't have the old messages from her and I, because she was originally on my other page, my Mind, Body, Soul page. But anyway, I PM people and I start a conversation, and a lot of times that conversation will lead to me seeing where there's a need in their life for what I offer, whether it's more freedom over their time, more finances in their life, or more health in their life. Like, who can't use more time, health, and finances? I mean, name one person on this planet that wouldn't take more health, time, and finances. And you know, I just think that everyone could use all of those things. So anyway, we chatted a little bit here and there, back and forth, whatever. Never mentioned anything about Beachbody. She watched my stories, she whatever. She didn't really have I realized like she didn't really have an idea of what I did until we actually were like talking. And then she was like, and I'm like, you know, found out that she had become a certified nutritionist. She's working at this vitamin shop. She has a degree. She was working as a paralegal before, but she started at the vitamin shop. She wants to like launch her own business being a nutritionist. She wants to help people with like health, wellness, whatever. And her passion for that started when she started a little program called P90X 10 years ago and lost like 80 plus pounds or something. So in the conversation, this was all that came out. And mind you, she's not a Beachbody On Demand member. She has never tried Shakeology. She's, not even connected to Beachbody at this point. She just knew the program, had done the program, loved the program. And then she went on to compete. She went on to like get her nutrition degree, all these different things, whatever, and had no clue about Beachbody. No clue that Beachbody was an MLM, that Beachbody was a business opportunity, that we had Beachbody On Demand. She just wasn't connected to the Beachbody space at all, even though she was a customer for P90X 10 years ago, and it got her amazing results. And she didn't stop doing it because she didn't like it. She just got bored, and she went on to other things. And at the time we didn't have BOD. So I'm like, well, like, and that didn't come out until I said, when she was mentioning like she wants to be a nutritionist, and I was looking at her page and I'm like, well, first of all, you need to be posting more pictures of yourself, because it was just pictures of like food and pictures of like her, equipment, her gym equipment. I'm like, people need to see your face. They need to see the face behind the brand, because I'm like, yeah, it's like branding 101. And then I'm like, and it sounds like you love what I do. And she's like, oh, well, what do you do? And I'm like, Beachbody. And she's like, I've never heard of it. And I'm like Shanti? She's like, oh yeah, Shanti, I love Shanti, blah, 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 whatever. So anyway, it led to a conversation about her becoming a coach. And so she joined as a customer only because I didn't want to overwhelm her, because she hadn't done like BOD and all that stuff. And I was like, well, you could start as a coach, but there's benefits to waiting until you actually want to work the business, like the Success Starter program, to sign up. So I was like, so are you the type of person that's going to like go all in and get overwhelmed and quit before you even start? Or are you the type of person that could start it all at once and, succeed? And so she was like, let me just, I felt that it was the right thing to have her sign up as a customer. So she did. And she's in the Facebook group, and she's been doing the BOD. She just got her Shakeology recently, because it was at her boyfriend's house and whatever. So I don't think she's even started that, because now she's in Puerto Rico. Her name is Sarah. Hopefully you'll be seeing her soon on team calls. And, she loves the BOD and she loves the thing. And she already has people asking her all the time about nutritional advice. So this is someone that like, I never would have thought, like, I never would have known all that. I never would have known all that about her until I just got to know her on a personal level. And this is someone who already has belief in the products, at least in the fitness programs. She hasn't tried any of the performance line or Shakeology, but it was like an easy sell. Like I didn't sell anything to her. It was just, and then she's local. She lives in Miami. So we met for drinks. She's actually like a local girl, so we can do stuff together. We had drinks like last Friday before I got sick, and she's super nice. We had fun. It was like, I was hanging out with someone I've known forever. It was awesome. Like we have a lot in common. So totally cool. Like my avatar, like super into health and fitness, just like a super sweet girl. And, I was like, at the dinner, she had been a customer for like, I don't know, a week or whatever. She had been doing the BOD. She hasn't really even done the Challenge Tracker app, because she's not doing 21 Day Fix. And that's what I'm doing right now in there. She's doing Transform 20. And so she said, when we sat down at dinner, she's been like a customer for a week or whatever. She's like, I want to do the coaching. I'm ready. I've been thinking about it. I'm ready. Like, I want to sign up. And then I'm like, well, just wait until May 1st. Cause this was like the end of April. It was like April 27th. I'm like, wait till May 1st, because then we have the Success Starter program. I explained the Success Starter program to her. I'm like, it'll give you the opportunity to earn your free ticket to Summit. Literally May 1st, texting me like, okay, I'm ready. How do I sign up? Like, I did not have to chase her at all. She was chasing me to be like, that is what you want. That is what you want as a team member. Like, you don't want to have to be chasing people down. Like, Jonna, is a coach, is a prime example of, like, the coach that, like, I'm like, can I just get 5 more of her, please? Like, just give me 5 more of her. Because I literally, like, you know what? I'll tell you this. I'll tell you, like, the true, honest truth. I think 2 years ago, I don't think I could have handled, like, 5 Jonnas. Because here's why. I think I would have felt so intimidated, because she's so good. Like, you're so good at like making PowerPoints and doing these, like all this stuff. You're like, the work that you put into it is so impressive to me. Like your brain just functions in a way that mine doesn't. And like the output, like the productive output that you put, I would have been so threatened by that I would have felt like it diminished me because I wasn't as good as you. Like I would have compared myself and thought like, wow, she's like so far along, much farther along than me. And I from, especially she's like just started as a coach and she's doing shit that like I can't even do now. And I've been a coach for 7 years. So I would have been really like threatened by that. So I wasn't ready for that. But right now, like I read this PowerPoint that she sent me and you know, she wants to share it. Maybe we could have her share it on a team call because it's awesome. It's fun. I was literally reading it and I was like, I wanted to cry in my car because I'm like, this is what I've always wanted. I've wanted someone that wants to work with me, that like has what it takes. Like I believe like 100% in your ability to be successful at this business. And I didn't feel threatened by it now. I felt like this is us building something together. And that's like all I wanted from the beginning, is like to bring on like people that are like me that want to do this together. Not that expect me to do it for them and then hand it to them in this pretty little package and say, here you go. Except there was something about my psyche that was holding me back from that because I felt like I needed to be that. So even if I did have people like Heather Dalton is a prime example of, she was like you. She came on and she wanted to do, like, she was creating power. She was doing all these different things. And I like squished her like creativity because I kept wanting to act on things too fast. And I just had this flashback of like, I have had these people, I just haven't been ready for them. And right now it makes me feel like I'm not doing this alone anymore. You know, I'm not like trying to create like we're working together. Like we're really working together as a team, and we'll share whatever, you know, content with you guys. It's not like we're not like being secretive about it. It's just that we like each other. We're having fun. It's like a friendship. It's a relationship. We're building, we're creating things. We are creating things, and it feels good. It feels amazing and it feels awesome. And like I could see Sarah, like she's a local girl. She's more like me. I could see her. She's gonna like jump and then try to figure it out. She's not gonna like, Jana's like, all right, let me get this all laid out like exactly perfectly. And then I can take the step. And like, yeah, I have some of that, but mostly I'm like, let me just jump right in. And yeah, it'll just all work out. I'll figure it out. And I know Stephanie's like that too. And Sarah seems more like jump in, but we'll see. I don't know. She's new. But it's just very exciting. I think it becomes very fun and exciting when you're working with people that you like working with and you're enjoying what you're doing. And that was like the whole point of I really wasn't going to share a ton today because I've been sick and I didn't like prepare anything exciting. But there's been 2 like affirmations, like, or confirmations or like energies that have been brought to me from the personal development I've been doing. From the High Performance Habits, I finally finished the book, and I was going to like talk about that. 2 weeks ago, I was going to talk about, it's called, he has a statement in High Performance Habits called embracing the suck. And that's just like a thing from the Army. If we are blessed to serve, then we shouldn't complain about it. And like, I feel like this is the first time that I'm loving the process. Like I'm enjoying like everything that's happening, the challenges and all that, like the thing, it's exciting to me. Whereas years ago, I hated the process. Like I just wanted to be successful. Like I just wanted to be there. Like I just wanted to be in this place without doing all the steps that it took to get there. And I was listening last night to The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck on my way to the concert. And I was listening to it on my way to work, on my way home from work, because I have a bunch of like Audible books that I have on my Audible that I haven't listened to. And that was one of them that I had started listening to and never finished. So I'm like, you know, I'm driving a lot today. Let me just listen to this. And in that, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, he was talking all about how like the reason that a lot of us don't succeed in the things that we want to succeed in is because we don't want to do the work that it takes to get there. And we don't embrace the process. We don't fall in love with the process. We fall in love with the result. And he gave an example of himself. And I'm just going to give you like some examples too of like I looked at in my life of himself. He wanted to be a rock star. He wanted to be like this guitar playing, like up on stage, all these people, you know, worshiping him, whatever. And it never happened. And he was going through, like, he tells a long story to get to there, like a 5-minute long story about how he was, you know, he was like, well, once I graduate and like get my degree, then I'll like get a job and I'll have the money to buy the supplies. Then I'll build the band. Then I'll start like promoting myself. I'll start getting my name out there, and then I'll find some stages and this. And he's like, and I was beating myself up because it never happened. And then I realized why it never happened. It wasn't because I didn't work hard enough. It wasn't because I didn't have what it took to make that happen. He's like, I actually really didn't want it to happen because I wanted to just be at that point, but I didn't want to do all the things that it took to get to that point. And it reminded me of like me learning how to play the guitar. Like I want to know how to play I just want to be able to play songs. I don't want to do scales. I don't want to fucking learn how to like A, B, E, D, whatever. I just want to just tell me, like, download. Let me just push a button and download how to play guitar, like in my mind and my body and my fingers, and just be able to play. I just want to be able to play songs. I don't want to learn how to play the guitar. And that's why I quit. I was taking lessons for a couple months, and it's hard. And I learned how to play a couple songs. And then I was like, oh, now I'm cool. I know how to play songs now. I can play like 3 songs. I'm like, I really know how to play guitar. And then when I had to start like really learning guitar, I quit. No problem. It really wasn't that, like, I didn't really want it that bad, and I didn't fall in love with the process. And I've thought about like starting guitar lessons again, because it could be that I had the wrong teacher. Maybe I wasn't really engaged because I wasn't really engaged with the teacher. I did have to switch teachers because I had a teacher in Miami, and then I moved up here and I switched, and they had different styles. But regardless, like, I would have to be willing to put in the time to play the guitar. And then I was thinking it can be like so simple in everyday life. Like last night, I really, 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 really wanted to go see this reggae band. I've been looking forward to it for months. And I almost didn't go because I didn't want to like put on my makeup, take a shower, do my hair. Like I didn't want to like have my dishes done, walk my dog, like do everything I needed to do. I didn't want to get all that done before I left. But I knew once I was there, I was going to have such a blast. And so I was like, all right, well, I'm not loving this process right now, but it's something I have to do to get me there. I mean, that's like a simple example. So I like forced myself. I'm like, it's only going to be like 20 minutes of getting ready. You just got to do it. Just put on your makeup. You can do your hair. You can do this. And I had to like talk myself into doing it. And there's going to be things in your business that you're going to have to talk yourself into doing, because it's not all going to be fun. It's not all going to be rainbows and unicorns and fucking fairies like coming out of your ass. It's a lot of work, and it's challenging. It's not challenging to the point where you can't do it. It's not challenging like it's rocket science. It's not challenging like it's becoming a surgeon, you know, a neurosurgeon working on like, it's not that kind of challenging. It's challenging because the biggest challenge is the work that you put in today. You're not going to see the results of all of that hard work and that effort until like years from now. Every person that you're talking to are seeds that you're planting for the future, because a lot of people are not, they're going to take 7 times on average to say yes. 7 times of you asking them to finally enroll, like with Sabrina. How many times did you sign up for my 7-day group, my free group? 3? Okay, so 3 times. She signed up, couldn't take her before pictures the first time, quit. Second time, I don't even remember. But finally, when we got on the phone, it was a matter of like, but I stayed there and I stayed present. I didn't push her. I didn't pressure her. I just showed up for her, and I met her where she was. That's going to happen with most of your people. The Success Club points that you're enrolling like this month are coming from people that you've talked to 3, 6, 9 months ago, or seeds that you planted even before. So my point is, you have to fall in love with the process. If you're not falling in love with the process of becoming a good leader of your team, becoming a successful, whatever it is that is like your thing that you want to do in this business, if you're not loving the process and all the steps that it's taking to get there, and you're just wanting to be at that end result, you're never going to get to that end result. And here's why. Because your energy that you're putting into the people that you're talking to, because all you're doing is focusing on being at that end result, is shit energy. And that's going to bring back, like, the things that you're going to attract back is going to be shit, because you're not really actually investing like positive, productive, energy that's going to help transform their life if you're not even feeling it in your own life. And I worked from that place for a long time. I built my business from that place for a long time, where it's just like, why can't I already be there? But here's the thing. If I was already there, which I don't even know what you want to call there is, each person has a different there. I don't think that if me succeeding, say being a 7-figure earner, like I'm earning $1 million a year in Beachbody, if it took me like a year to do that and it was super easy, like I only had to talk to 2 or 3 people every day and I just had to like kind of like put my half-ass work into it, I don't think that I would feel so like excited when I got to that point. Because we like to be challenged. We like it. We enjoy it. That is like how we grow, how we become bigger, how we become better people. Is through the challenges. So if we're just wanting to be there without having all those failures, and those failures teaching us how to be better and challenging us in ways that grow us as a person, we'll never actually, when we get to that level, if it were just handed to us, if we could just push a button and make it happen. Because there's been time in my life when like I've literally in this business where I've just been like, damn it, why can't I just like push a button and just be there? But so you have to fall in love with the process. And that means like the day-to-day grind. That means like the little things. And let me just say to back that up one second and say, if like you're hating everything that you're doing in this business, if everything feels like, it's pulling teeth for you, like you're enjoying none of it, either you're doing too much, or maybe this isn't the right business for you. If you feel that hating it and not enjoying the things that you're doing is the way that it's going to work for you to grow it, then yeah, either you're choosing the wrong activities for yourself or this business isn't for you. And there's so many different ways to build the business that I would say most likely it's that you're choosing the wrong activities for yourself, because there's people that are growing out, building the business face to face. I did want to mention that too. On the Beachbody Champions page, they did a series of how to build local, how to build in person. I haven't watched any of them. They are on my list. I am planning to watch them because that is what I'm excited about too with Sarah. Like she's local and we could do local events together like once a month. And I'm not talking like business building events where we're like, come listen to us talk about our products and share about the Beachbody coaching opportunity. I'm saying like stand-up paddleboarding, with like doing like fun adventures, like whatever, like having a beach day, doing a barbecue, taking our pets somewhere. I don't know, like doing like fun things together where we get the opportunity to build community with people, like to build relationships with people and grow our businesses, just because naturally it just happens as you're being in people's lives. Like it's just going to happen because they're going to see what you're doing and they're going to either want to be a client or they're going to want to be a coach or whatever, because, well, I'm not saying everyone, because I have friends that would never join Beachbody and that's totally fine too. But they could even refer people to me. My friends that aren't into it, they don't dislike it. It's just not for them. So my point is falling in love with the process and figuring out how it can work well for you and what way you want to grow your business that feels good for you. And the other thing about like that goes the same for leadership. Like growing into leadership and becoming the person that you need to be to lead a team like successfully is going to take personal development, years and months and days of personal development. The personal development to me is like what prepares me to be on these calls. It's the only way I feel confident coming into this call is personal development. Because the personal development is like where I get my ideas about, oh, I got to share that with my team. I got to share that with my team. Like, oh, this is like, that's where in all these coaches that are posting these things, like they're not coming up with a lot of these posts that they're sharing are not their own. I mean, yeah, they're their own words, but it's because they've poured into themselves through all these personal development leaders. They're just spitting back out the same information in their own words that they've read a million times from all these other books. And have you ever noticed that a lot of these personal development books are like the same? Like they have the same concepts. They're saying the same thing in just a different way, like over and over and over. It's like how many books can we have on the same topic? But you know what? Maybe you need to hear it this way and it clicks for you. And maybe you heard it this way and it didn't. So my point is personal development, fall in love with the process. Personal development's what's going to get you to leadership. If that's what you really want to do and you really want to lead a team of coaches, which is what I want to do. I don't just want to lead a team of coaches. I want to lead a team of leaders. Like, I want people, what I feel most excited about is when people like are willing to invest back into me and like the team as I am into them. And that's the relationship that like Jonna and I have right now. It's a partnership. It's not me that I'm like dictating to her what to do or whatever. It's like, we're in this together and we're building this together. And that's what, you know, this whole team is about. And now that she's also doing Scipio, which I mentioned like a couple months ago. I can't go into like super detail about what we're doing because we did have to sign a non-disclosure agreement. But we are using an automated texting service. Did I freeze? No. Okay. And we are setting up campaigns to, you know, to have better relationships with our customers, our prospects, and our coaches. And it's a way for you can schedule messages out to people, so you could have like a follow-up message going out to someone instead of having to remember to do it in 2 weeks, or say someone's having surgery. And, you know, like one of the guys I'm talking to is having surgery. So like, I'm going to schedule a follow-up to ask like after his surgery, schedule a date, see like, how did your surgery go? It's an amazing service that we're using right now. And I think could really help take all of us to the next level. We're going to share all of that with you. We're just still working out the process, but I'm most excited about that is like having a team that's like everyone's pouring into each other and me not feeling like I have to be everything to everyone. And that's ultimately what I think everyone should want and hope for, because it isn't about me being like, and I always felt like I have to know everything and I have to do everything and I have to be everything to everyone. And that's why I was just like, literally like all of my energy was like bleeding out. And now I feel like it's like this team effort. It's really exciting. So I hope you got the point of my gist of that. And I didn't have anything like super prepared, but I just want to open up the floor and say if anyone wants to share about what I shared or has something to add or has a question to ask, I want to open it up and have it be I don't want to talk at you for an hour. So thanks for listening, and I hope it was helpful.
So with the consistency and the posting and all of that stuff and the personal development, and I don't know why, but this week, today, number 39 and even next year, number 40, they're bothering me. And I know that, like, I know, Jonna, you saw my post, and I know you saw my post, Marissa, as well. But the last couple of weeks, I've done a lot of self-reflection. And even though I had read I read Girl Wash Your Face, and, she talks about how we set expectations on ourselves. And when we don't meet those expectations by whatever age that we thought that we should have done those things, that we get down on ourselves. Well, guess who did that in the last 2 weeks? That'd be me. And I actually went back and reread that chapter in Girl Wash Your Face because I needed to hear it. And I knew I had read it. I knew what it said, but I needed to reread it to reiterate that in my head, to resubmit. Like, it's almost like resubmitting the information. But the other thing is I had conversations with some of my friends about it and about my, how I've been feeling about it. And, they also helped remind me that even though I haven't done certain things that I thought I would have done by, the time I was 39 or even, next year, that I still have a long time. I still have time to get those done. And it's not about what I haven't gotten done. It's about what I have accomplished. And for those of you that aren't on my, aren't following me on Instagram or aren't following, aren't on either one of my Facebook pages, business or personal, basically what I had said is that, I'm 39. I've never been married, but on the alternative of that, I'm with somebody that I've been with for 3 years, and we're happy and we're creating a life together, and we might get there someday, but we may not, and we may just be happy where we're at. And I'm perfectly fine with that. But I had set in my mind that I had an expectation to be there by now, and I'm not, so it got me down. But I'm, like I said, I'm relearning, reteaching myself that that's not what I have to do. I don't have to meet, and that's kind of a societal expectation as well. And I don't have to meet that expectation. I have to be happy within myself and where I'm at in every step of my life. Some of the other things I talked about was being like established in my career and established in, being out of debt and like, completely financially, well off or rich or whatever, however you want to put it. But you know what? I own a house and I have put myself through school almost 3 times now. I got my MA certificate in 2005. I got my associate's degree in 2006. And in July, I get to walk in my commencement ceremony next Friday. But in July, I will have completed my bachelor's in healthcare administration. And nobody did that for me. I did it. I've been the one putting myself through school. I've been the one putting in the effort. I've been the one doing this. I raised a son by myself. He, as a single mom, his father was not ever in the picture. So there's, 20 years. He's 20 years old and he has had his stumbles. He's had his falls. He's not a perfect kid, but you know what? He is making something of himself and he goes to MEPS for his physical next week. And so then we'll find out when he ships off to the Army. My health and fitness, I'm not at my goals. Like I still feel like I have about 20 pounds, but I am 40 plus pounds closer than what I was 2 years ago when I stepped on the scale and weighed almost 200 pounds. I am healthier than I've ever been. I am making the right nutrition choices. I'm making the right life choices. I'm making smart decisions about myself and about everything around me. And, a lot of that is in part to becoming a part of Beachbody, because it not only helped me to look at myself differently, but it has helped me to become a better person for myself. And, if I hadn't, a friend of mine actually tagged me in a post for the first 7-day challenge that I couldn't send my before pictures. I could not do it because I was so ashamed of how I looked. And it's one of those things that I absolutely, I wish that I would have started before, but it wasn't the right time. And when it did become the right time is when I stepped in. And, the other thing is the coaching opportunity, because if I hadn't done this, I wouldn't have started engaging in personal development and I wouldn't be able to be teaching myself that it's okay not to have met those expectations. So
thank you for sharing all that. I love how you took flipped the script and wrote all the things that she wrote, a post, and said all the things about what she hasn't accomplished, and then said all the things about what she has accomplished. And it is focusing on those things, and she's still in her process, and she is loving it for the most part. I know she has those negative, thoughts that come in, but for the most part, she's enjoying the process. And as I was listening to Sabrina talk, I was thinking, and I was trying not to think, I was trying to just listen. But the thing that pops in my head, that kept popping in my head, is if you feel right now, and I'm throwing this out there for anyone that maybe is feeling discouraged or is challenged by being a leader of clients or being a leader of a coach, if I had just focused on giving Sabrina information about how she could succeed, and I didn't focus on actually developing a relationship with her and learning what makes her tick and what she's like, which is what fills up my cup. I like knowing about my people that. I didn't know that about myself. I thought I was this person that just needed to teach them I need to just teach them how to be successful in the challenge group and as a coach. I don't need to, they don't need to have the relationship part. That's the fuzzy, warm, whatever. I'm not that. But I thought that for a long time, but I really actually am that. That's what I love. That's what fills up my cup when I don't feel like I have to do everything for them. And what I put this weight that I put on my shoulders for so long was because I've been in it longer and I'm their quote unquote leader, I need to know everything. I need to do everything. I need to spoon feed them. I need to have it all. And that made me so stressed out that I couldn't even focus on the relationship with the person. And Sabrina came into the business at a very rare moment in time when I was pretty much taking like a 2-year kind of break. I mean, I was still kind of posting and sharing and doing my thing. I never stopped. And the team was still there, but I wasn't doing team calls. I was like, really, I was just trying to figure out where I was figuring out myself and where my head was at and how I wanted to continue in this space. And I know for a fact that the relationship with Sabrina was a key one, because it finally showed me how to just show up for someone as a friend and as a person, and how to care about someone, and how to make their goals your goal, and how to just put the person above the business always, you know. And if you're thinking that you're going to get to whatever it is that's your goal without building relationships with people, you're going to crash and burn, because you can have all the information and you can share it in a document, and you can give it to every single person, and you can think that, you know, you have all this stuff because you know what you're doing and you can teach, but it's the relationship that you build with that person that's going to keep them going and moving forward. So if you think that you can get to there, wherever it is, without really engaging with your people, and I'm not saying that means being everything to them, look at what can this person teach me instead of what do I need to teach them. Because when I started looking at it like this is a relationship where we're giving to each other and I'm receiving, then it became this cyclical thing where it didn't feel like I was being bled out of my energy. It felt like I'm getting something back, you know, even if it's not that they're, you know, supporting me in staying fit, because I know how to do that and I don't need that kind of support. They're supporting me in some other way. And when you look at it like that and you realize that this is energy that you're passing back and forth between each other, and you focus on that person as a relationship, that's what's going to get you to whatever level it is that you want to go to. So congratulations, Sabrina. I love you. Thank you for sharing. I don't know if you can hear us, but I'm hoping you can. She helped me shape me into the person that I am today, because she decided to have me become her coach. And I learned so much from that relationship. So thank you for sharing. And does anybody else have a share or a question or feedback or anything before we end our meeting for the day?
I'm just gonna say the personal development is really whenever I feel like I'm down in the dumps, because like Sabrina was saying, like I have to go through my head. I think on social media I have a really hard time posting the not perfect stuff, because not everyone wants to see the perfect stuff, even though that's what we think that they want to see for some reason. But personal development really helps me be like, well, I need to share where I've come from. Not that I'm perfect all the time, because I'm not at all. But it's nice for me to reflect back with that as well. Like, not that I had a hard time sharing about the containers, but I feel like I could probably be more strict on myself about the containers. But why am I sharing the containers even though I don't use them every day like I should? If that makes sense. Like, I really have a hard time struggling with being like that, even though, I don't know, I try to share that that's how I learned how to eat now, like the portion sizes. I've learned like my portion sizes with the containers, and that's what I try to show people, that I don't use them every day anymore because I learned how, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. And that could even be like a post you could write about, like, I struggle because I think that I have to use the containers still because I'm teaching you that they're the right thing to do. But I struggle because I feel like that's what I have to do. But in reality, I don't, because I already know the proper portions because I used them long enough. Like, that's you can do a post about that. And then that shows them, like, here's where it can take you. Like, it can take you from, like, right now you have no clue about what to eat. And now I'm at the point where I don't even need them anymore because I already know, because they already taught me, you know. So you're taking them on a journey and they're connecting with, like, where you were before and then, where you are now. Like, you could be posted about that.
Yeah. That's what I was trying. I was trying to. For some reason, I'm really struggling mentally in my head that it needs to be perfect, and I know it doesn't. And that's where like the personal development really helps me.
Yeah,
I'm finding starting the business really helps me too. I've definitely become a more I'm getting better because I really want to try. I want to do. I want to get to leadership in the business, and I'm really struggling mentally with it. Just as far as being confident in myself, because I am not. I'm not confident in myself, and that's where I really need to drill in more on personal development. Because I feel like I'm like, I can't lead nobody. Like I'm not anybody. And that's how I feel. And I'm like, I gotta change that.
So here's my
Stop.
here's
I have,
my, let me
can I share something about what Stephanie just said?
Sure.
So Jericho did a live in the Morning Meltdown group, and she was talking about meal plans and different things like that. And in Morning Meltdown, like you can use like any meal plan, but what Jericho talks about a lot is like she's an intuitive eater, and kind of what you were just sharing, Stephanie, and what Marissa was also like commenting on is that I don't want people to feel like they need to be tied to a container system. So where you're at is a really good place, but you learned from the container system. People need the tools, but ultimately people want to be where you're at, where it's like, I now know what I need to do. And that's what Jericho was actually talking about. She's like, you know, we're all at different places, but she's like, I'm at a place where I've been doing this for so long. I know what I need to do. She doesn't need to measure things out. Like she knows what her body needs. She knows what her body reacts to. And it sounds like that's where you're at. And that's where people want to be. But to get there, they need the tools at first. So, you know, that's a huge, to me, selling point of your story. Like, you know, do you see people like, you know, like scales and containers and all these things, and you're like, that's why I don't want to start anything, because I don't want that, you guys. But you have to start somewhere. But I can tell you, if you start, you get to the place that you want to be. You know, I'm there, you know, and sharing that. Also, the second part of what you just shared makes me think of Barbie Kalev's call, which I have saved, where she talked about what is your mindset, and then think about, now what are your actions because of it? I don't think I can lead. Great. Now what are you doing because of that? You probably don't want to bring on that many challengers. I mean, that's honestly probably the second half of it. Like, you know, it's kind of like, I hate working out. Okay, so what's the ramifications of that? You don't press play. You know, it's like, so your thoughts are dictating your actions. So, you know, she shared like, are you going to believe yourself when you switch that thought? Like, I'm an amazing leader. I lead people. No, you're not. But you have to just keep saying it. And she acknowledged that. She's like, yeah, you're basically lying to yourself at first, but your mind will start to change because of what you change, what you say to it.
I was going to also say about like lacking confidence. The best way to build confidence, in my opinion, is to take action. Like if you're sitting here and you're like, I'm lacking confidence. I don't know how to lead. I don't know how to I don't know how to lead my challenge group. I don't know how to lead my team. So if you take no action, you're never going to learn. You're never going to grow into that person that can actually lead people, because you're stalled out by your fear. And so you're just going to be stuck in this place of, I'm never going to be able to do it, because it takes experience for you to do that. It takes life experiences. It takes failing and succeeding. So if I were you, I'm going to just give you some advice that what I would do based on what I'm hearing you say and based on what I know about my experiences. Who is one person that you could link arms with and do this journey together? It doesn't have to be 10. It doesn't have to be 100. It doesn't have to be 1,000. One person that you can find to link arms with and do this journey with you. Because if you learn how to lead that one person, then you know you'll be able to do it. So you'll build the confidence with that one person, that one relationship, where you'll be able to, from that relationship, you could help hundreds, but you've got to figure it out with that one. So find your one and just link arms with them. And don't focus on all the numbers and going this and that and whatever. Just link arms with them. Start, lead them, and remember, how can I serve them? And also, how can this relationship serve me? Like, what am I teaching them? But also, what are they teaching me? Don't feel like you have to be everything to them, because you don't. because what you're getting back is also so much more than what you're giving. And if you'll focus on that, you won't feel like I have to be this certain thing to them. It's just, no, we're in a relationship and we're growing together. No one is really leading anyone. We're just growing together in this circular fashion of this energy being exchanged between the two of us. So find that person, you know, whether it's on social media or a family member or a friend, whatever, link arms with them, lead them, build the confidence, make the mistakes, and you'll get to the point where you'll have the confidence to be able to lead 100 people. But it starts with one. So that's what I would do. Take action. Anybody else have questions or shares about that?
I'll share. I definitely have grown from Beachbody being a coach. I was under Stephanie just as a competitor for the programs. And I mean, I had self-love and confidence growing, but now that I'm a coach, I'm doing more self-development. And I've definitely grown more as an individual where I'm a shy person. I'm usually like back in the corner, like people watcher kind of thing. Like everyone else can be center of attention, like go for it. And now I'm kind of like putting myself out there more than I would have. Like I'm getting out of my comfort zone and I'm finding it not as scary as I used to think. So I'm doing more than I used to do with people I used to hang out with and reconnecting with relationships and just trying to do things that I normally wouldn't do. And I'm finding it like really fun. And it's making me feel stronger as a person. And I just want to like share that doing things out of your comfort zone can actually be really scary at first, but after you're done with it, you'll be like, oh, I can do this. And then what's next?
Exactly. It's taking, that's just reiterating, thank you so much. Reiterating what I said, it's action. Like you're taking one action and then, you know, one action and one action and one action. It's the compound effect. And at the end of the year, you look back on the person you were a year ago and you're like, wow, like I do all these things that I never would have done when I was that person. And that's how I feel too. Like after being in this business for so long and all the personal development that I've done, like I went to see like my teacher. I had like a conscious healer teacher, and I went to see her to like have a talk with her last week. I think it was like Monday. It was Monday, and that was the day I got sick. And as I was walking up to meet her, I was like zoomed back in time, like literally like God, like the universe, like everything just zooming back in time to the very first day I went to meet her. And I hired her because I was a mess. My life was a mess. I was in a relationship that was really bad. It was negative. We were living together. He had a daughter. It was like it was horrible. It was like a super conflict all the time in my life. So I was so involved in the conflict in my relationship that I wasn't really I wasn't being able to create the most beautiful life for myself because I was just like always churning in this conflict. And I hired her to help me like get the power to get out of that relationship. And she did. And when I was walking up to meet her, and we started working together like 6 years ago, and I had that flashback of like that girl. I felt like the girl that I was walking to meet her that very first day is not the woman that I am now. Like that girl doesn't exist anymore. And it was just like so much has changed, and I'm such a different person. Like I'm not that person anymore that I was 6 years ago, in such a huge way. And I know a big part of that is Beachbody, because Beachbody forces us to do personal development. So I love that you shared that. And it's like action. It's action. You can't just sit here and say, okay, I don't know how to do this. I lack confidence. Like I'm going to read in personal development, and I'm going to like tell myself these positive, I'm going to tell myself these positive affirmations. Cause if it's all going on in here, nothing's going to change. It's going to stay the same. But if things are going on out here where you're taking a step and 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 you're taking a step, that's what's going to build the confidence. Action is going to get rid of your fear, and it's going to build your confidence any day. Don't throw yourself to the action that you should be taking at action 100. You have to start at 1. So And are you coming to Summit, Diana? Because I'd really like to meet you, and I think you should come.
I really want to, but I'm unable to this year.
Okay.
Because of my daughter being so young, we wouldn't be able to, with work and everything, because I work full time with Beachbody, so I wouldn't be able to get off.
Okay. Gotcha.
But hopefully next year. So I would love to meet you all.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to meet you too. And I think Sabrina had something she wanted to say, and then I'll close down the call. Oh, it looks like she got frozen. It looks like she froze.
About not being confident. And I feel you, girl. When I started this, I had that much confidence in myself in leading people or helping somebody else to meet their goals, or to even start trying to meet their goals, or to any of that. But it's, like Stephanie and Marissa have said, it's action. It also does take a lot of positive self-talk, and I can do this. And, it's kind of a combination of the both of them. And the personal development, again, I didn't start really diving into personal development until the beginning of this year, because I don't know, maybe I don't know if I was just afraid of it, but I it took me a little bit to dive in. But now that I have, yeah, I'm not gonna look back. And I've read a few 2 books I've completed, and I've been listening to some podcasts and some other stuff that have also helped. But the 2 books that I've completed are Girl Wash Your Face and Unfuck Yourself. And I actually gifted the Unfuck Yourself to one of my challengers who is really struggling. And she, he actually is very blunt and straightforward about talking about, your subconscious. Like, your subconscious drives who you are and how you act, and that you have to start by changing that. But again, you can't do that without actions, and your actions will reinforce what you're telling yourself. And yes, you might be lying to yourself at first and saying, I'm a good leader, but the more you tell yourself that, the more you can change your subconscious mind. And the more actions you take, the stronger that change happens and becomes, and the more confident you become. I know Marissa can attest to the fact that over the last almost 2 years that I've been working with her, I have come leaps and bounds from the confidence level that I had. And, it's, again, a lot of it is in part to getting into that personal development.
Thank you for sharing. Yes, I agree with everything you said. An awesome call. Thanks everyone who opened up and shared. I appreciate all you guys. I hope you have an awesome week, and I'll see you guys next Saturday. All right. Bye, guys.